Tom here, and welcome back to another Drive For Me video. In today's video we are driving at night, which brings me straight to the topic of the video. What is it like to drive at night time? I'm going to put this fan on so you can hear the fan. I do apologise. Don't know where I'm actually am to. As always with these videos, no idea where I am. But kind of hoping that I'll find my way. But okay, so first question, how is it? Is it easier or harder to drive of a night time? Personally, I like driving of a night time because there's less traffic and the road's quieter and it just seems cooler, if that makes sense. Like, it sounds stupid, but it just seems cooler and like better to drive of a night time because there is less cars. Actually, we can see one coming here now, but that's why I like driving at night. It's quieter and I feel not safer, but kind of more capable of driving of a night time, which sounds a little bit stupid when I say it out loud, but you guys know what I mean by that, then obviously that makes sense. But there is negatives to driving at night as well as the positive, which is my positive. Obviously, of a night time at weekends, you can get possible drunk drivers, and you have to be really careful of that. And of course, obviously, people do that, and I don't really know why they do that. I would never do that personally, because I would kind of damage the effect on me, and obviously because I am of my first year driving, not quite yet, you're on like a sort of curfew, if that makes sense, like with the police and everything. So if you do get caught doing anything silly, you do get your license taken off you and you do have to retake everything. But there is other negatives and stuff like that. You have to pay way more attention when you're driving at night, and you have to be more aware of things around you. Obviously when you do this and stuff, I don't know if you can actually see me putting on my full beam off and stuff like that, but you have to be careful of when you do it and stuff like that. And sometimes it's really difficult to judge distance when you're driving at night, because people, that doesn't make any sense, but you judge distance differently at night time because you can't see as far in front of you as you can in the daytime. Like I keep saying, I like driving at night time because the roads are emptier and you can kind of just cruise and not really have to worry about people. But personally, I do way below the speed limit due to the fact I have a black box. If you guys want to visit a video on that, then I'll be sure to do that, explaining what kind of black box I have and how I like it. But directly driving at night time, as you can see, I'm not struggling right now to do this. I'm currently going uphill. This car does struggle up here, so I have to put it in third and it suddenly crawls up. So I think this one coming the other way. No one's behind me. Sorry about that. But sometimes it can be difficult to drive at night because people sit behind you with their full beam on, and sometimes they sit really close and their lights are really high and you really can't see, and sometimes it flickers in the central mirror in your car, and if your mirrors on your side mirrors aren't set up properly, it can also flicker in them. That annoys me when people do that. It annoys me when you're having people come the opposite direction and the first person in the queue doesn't have their full beam on, and like the third or fourth person in this queue of traffic has their full beam on. I don't understand how they think that they can have theirs on, but the person at the front knows they can't, if that makes sense. There's a car coming the other way. Can't quite tell, but it just annoys me when people just leave their full beam on, and sometimes I give them a little bit of a flash, and then sometimes I just ignore them, just to make it easier on me and on them so they don't get blinded, and well, I just sort of sit there and suffer. Yeah, like I'm saying, the roads are absolutely completely dead, as they say. Just empty, no cars around. between 40 to 50, anyone wondering. But the thing that annoys me again about driving at night time is you see these cat eyes in the middle. Everyone knows what they are and stuff like that, and this person's not going to turn their beam off, and I'm going to get quite annoyed. There you go, they turned it off finally. Sometimes the cat eyes in the middle reflect really like bright back at you, and sometimes signs are quite clean, which are good. Obviously it's good to have clean signs on the side of the road, but sometimes they reflect the light really badly. And I've just realised something else that I really don't like driving at night is when people have one light on their car which is dim, right, and the other one's like really bright, and the really bright light is like extremely bright and it just blinds you, and you're like, please just go get your car like fixed. And other people complain that when it's not foggy, well it is foggy, but like not as foggy as people might think, and people have their fog lights on. I don't personally have this complaint because I don't really mind if you don't have your fog lights on. You have your fog lights on, and sometimes they are daytime running lights. Personally, I drive around with my side lights on all the time because I just feel safer and I feel like people are going to see me better. But people do get annoyed when their people's back fog lights are on, because sometimes cars have two and it looks like brake lights. And people don't like that because it's really annoying. And trucks like that on the side of the road, I've noticed some of them have their doors open, and I've never understood why. Like, I mean, I know it's like, oh yeah, look what's in the back, so it's not worth like nicking, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why they do that. Let's get this hill then. Another thing about driving at night is that, like my dad always says this, be more careful at night time of like deers and rabbits and all these kind of animals at night time, because like my driving instructor once said this. He said it's not the first deer you have to worry about, it's the second. And in the daytime you might be able to see the first one and the second one, even the third one, but at night time your vision is so unclear that you might actually not see any of them. Like, I can see about, I don't know, let's say 100 to 200 yards ahead in front of me, and I can see all that because I have these four beams on. But some people drive around with either their side lights on or their fog lights on, and it's sort of ridiculous to me that people can drive like that, and it's really difficult to understand for me. But I always drive like I feel quite safely, and like I know what I'm doing, if that makes sense. I've just seen the camera I'm recording this on in my dash cam, so it's really quite distracting. But I don't get distracted that easily either when I'm driving normally. But sometimes at night time as well, like I sort of drone out to the music, and I'm just cruising along and minding my own business, and some guy just zooms past you at night time, and you're like, where did he come from? Because he hasn't got his lights on. And it's normally not like now that people have lights on. I think he just flashed me, but I've obviously got my lights turned down. I don't know if you saw me put them down, but people do like just come up behind you with their lights off or with their side lights on, and you don't really see the car, and they just zoom straight past you. And it's again with the night time and people overtaking, like you go around a corner, right, and then this car just zooms past you when you go around this corner at night time, and you're like, can you even see around this corner, or are you just assuming that there's nothing there? Because I don't understand. You should never overtake, even in daytime when there's a corner coming up, because you have no idea what's around that corner, and I don't, and I'm the one that's going to get hit if anything happens, because you're going to come into the side of me. But I don't really know. People just, I don't understand people basically. But I think I'm coming to the end of this video. A couple of topics to mix up on. I personally love driving at night because it's just so empty and so like literally like right now, but there's nothing coming towards me, there's nothing behind me, you can't see that, but there is nothing behind me, and I'm just cruising at about 45 mile an hour in a 60. There's a car now, but you know what I mean, like it's just empty and there's not many cars, and I can just cruise at whatever speed I really want and just go wherever I'm going and do it safely. Like I said, there is negatives, like you do have to pay way more attention, and it does tire you out sometimes when you're driving at night time because of that paying more attention. And obviously if you're on like really quiet road, back roads is currently a main road, there is negatives of that too. But you can obviously, when you get used to driving, you get used to driving of any time of the day, in any weather. Like I've driven in the snow and everything like that. You watch that video somewhere. Stuff like that. I personally love driving, just in general. I just don't do it as much as I would really like to. But I think that's going to do it for this video here of driving in the night time. I hope you guys did enjoy me rambling about driving in the night time. Like I keep saying in every video, there's a video on the right of the screen which is a link to the playlist of all of these videos, and there's a video on the left of the screen which is a YouTube recommended one. And I hope you guys did enjoy, and I hope to see you guys in the next Drive With Me video.
See, I remember when I met you as a sophomore. Started out as friends, but I knew that we would want more. Hit your favorite restaurant with your favorite dress on. That's one of my favorite memories.